Hi, hello, and welcome back. Or if you are new here, welcome. Happy you're here. Nice to meet you. So, hey guys. Crazy thing. It's been a year since I started Spravato. So today I thought we'd do something a little different. I'm going to answer the 10 most commonly asked questions I get about Spravato and take a look back at my
Spravato journey
from the beginning. Sound good? Great. Question number 1. What is Spravato? Spravato, or esketamine, is an FDA-approved treatment for treatment-resistant depression that's derived from part of the ketamine molecule. It is not straight ketamine, and it's also different from the IV ketamine treatments. Question number 2. Who can do Spravato? Currently, it's only approved for people with treatment-resistant depression, meaning you don't respond to or haven't had any meaningful improvement from antidepressants, which may shock you to learn that that's a third of all people with depression. Question number 3. How is Spravato different from antidepressants? Antidepressants work by increasing the amount of the neurotransmitters, serotonin, dopamine, and/or norepinephrine in the brain. Spravato increases the amount of glutamate, which is the most abundant neurotransmitter in the brain, meaning it has a greater impact on more brain cells at one time, and the results appear a lot faster than with traditional antidepressants. Question number 4. What are the treatments like as someone with a dissociative disorder? Great question. In case you're new here, I have a dissociative disorder, and one of the main side effects of Spravato is dissociation. I definitely experienced dissociation during the treatment, but after talking to a lot of the staff at the clinic I go to, my experiences don't sound like anything out of the ordinary. Shocking, I know. During the treatments, I don't blast off into another dimension. I don't lose time. I'm never confused about where I am or what I'm doing. I don't dissociate into traumatic memories. None of that. It's actually a very pleasant experience for me. And in case you haven't seen any of my Spravato videos, be sure to check those out because I go into pretty thorough detail into what each one of my experiences were like. I feel like I'm actually quite present and lucid during the treatments. No clue why that is, but yeah. It's been totally fine for me. Question number 5. When did it start working? I totally understand why people ask this question. However, I'm not really a fan of it because it totally varies from person to person. And I don't want anyone to get discouraged if they don't see results along the same timeline that I did. My provider told me in the beginning that it's common to not notice any changes at all until at least a month into treatment. Now, for some people, it doesn't take that long. For other people, it takes longer. There's just no way to predict how long it would take for you to see results. Also, I never noticed a significant difference in my symptoms following any one treatment. My progress was very gradual and incremental, and what would happen most often is that in the days following a treatment, I'd suddenly realize that something that had been extraordinarily difficult for me for years was suddenly a lot easier. I never woke up the next day feeling a significant improvement. So please keep all of that in mind, okay? Now, that being said, I first noticed an improvement after treatment number 3. I believe the words I used were, I wouldn't say I feel better, but I feel noticeably less terrible. Something to that effect. I think I also cooked dinner for myself that night, which sounds small, but was a huge deal for me. Those of you with depression get it. Question number 6. Do I still have depression? According to the PHQ-9, which is the screening tool for depression, my score is 3 out of 21. Hello, voiceover Heather here. First of all, I meant to say 3 out of 27, and I've actually had another treatment since recording this video, and my score was 1 out of 27. By that measure, I don't have depression anymore. Depression? Who's she? Prior to starting Spravato, my score was 14 out of 27, which is moderate depression. And that's what it was after months of TMS. Prior to TMS, my score was 24 out of 27, which severe depression. I don't know if this is at all accurate, but I view depression as something I'll always have, or at least be predisposed to. But with proper treatment and taking care of myself, I can keep my symptoms in remission. Does that make sense? I have no idea if that's how depression actually works. That's just what makes sense for me. And it's a good reminder for me because I know, like, for instance, I've always had really terrible seasonal depression. And this winter, some of my symptoms did kind of mildly return. And I mean very mildly. Like, I went from 10 out of 10 seasonal depression every year to like a 0.5 or a 1 out of 10 this year. Also, Miss Finn died unexpectedly in March, so that may have been a major contributing factor there. If I take care of myself and undergo the proper treatments, I can keep my symptoms in remission. That's what's important.
And sis, that's on period.
Question number 7. Were there any surprising improvements or setbacks? As for setbacks, not really. Not that I can think of. I think the only times when that was even a concern was every time I decreased the frequency of my treatments. I just wouldn't feel as great for like 1 to 2 days, but it always leveled out. And that's also pretty common for Spravato as you decrease the frequency of your treatments. I did have a few surprising improvements, though. Number 1, with my cognitive functioning. I didn't realize just how much depression was affecting my ability to think clearly and be creative. I mean, my ADHD accounts for some of that, but my cognitive ability shot way up thanks to Spravato. My PMDD symptoms went away, which, thank God, like I had terrible PMDD, like suicidal thoughts kind of PMDD. And those went away, I think, after my first couple of treatments. So, surprising improvement. Also, my anxiety has gone way down. Yeah. Which really isn't all that surprising because depression and anxiety often go hand in hand. But, yeah. Overall, it's gone way down, which also didn't notice just how bad it was until my anxiety went down again. It's crazy when you are living with depression and anxiety all the time, how much you accept the symptoms as a normal part of living. Doesn't have to be like that. Question number 8. What does Spravato treatment look like long term? A typical course of treatment is about 3 months, but that totally depends on how you respond to it and what your provider thinks is best. My provider told me that there's an ongoing study of patients who've been doing Spravato since 2019. So 4 years. There hasn't been any dependency issues or decrease in effectiveness. Great news. So yeah, depending on your provider and how you respond to it, it does appear that you can keep doing Spravato to keep your symptoms in remission long term. Question number 9. How much does Spravato cost? This is one of those things that totally depends on your provider, your insurance, if you're able to get insurance, etc. What I can say is that because I'm disabled, I have Medicare and Medicaid, which in the state of Washington is pretty good, and I don't have to pay anything. $0. Yeah. Which was pretty shocking to me that they cover it, but they do. Question number 10. Do I recommend Spravato? Yes, absolutely. 1000%. It quite literally changed my life for the better. And to see just how much, we're going to take a look at my Spravato journey from the beginning. I totally forgot that Miss Finn was heavily featured in my videos.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine.
Can I handle this right now? Yeah. Well, yeah, I can. Sorry about that. Let's continue. Hi, hello, and welcome to my video recapping my first week of treatment with Spravato. I've had a hard... What is that?
What the hell is even that?
First-hand accounts of people who have undergone this treatment, especially people who have dissociative disorders. Okay, so right away I noticed a difference in the way that I talk. I think this comment here from Phoenix Rebirth sums it up. It's like life energy got infused back into your body and soul. Very happy for you. Thank you, Phoenix Rebirth. And yeah, I can see that. Miss Finn. Oh, look at Miss Finn. She's busy looking at stuff. As promising as Spravato is, I know it's not a miracle drug. It's not going to magically cure my depression. Maybe not a miracle drug because it's chemistry,
Yes,
but
science.
it's pretty damn close. I was hopeful that it would work for me, but I didn't know how much of an improvement to hope for. And, well, my results have been way beyond my wildest dreams. Truly. Sorry. Had to get up and get some potato chips. This is for all you ASM artists out there. Oh, there's a bee. See video 2. Hi, hello, and welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome. In this video, I'm recapping week 2 of my experience undergoing treatment with Spravato. You know, I didn't think I had any noticeable improvement after the first week, but going back and watching these again, I did my makeup, which at that point was probably the first time in 3 years, maybe longer. And I seemed to be a bit more animated. And I also put on real clothes, definitely in pajamas in that first one. After I came home, it was really the same as before, just slowly came back to normal over the course of about 3 hours. But as I was making dinner that night, I suddenly had this moment of awareness and realized I feel better. I wouldn't say good, but I felt noticeably less terrible. I can't really explain it. Okay, so I guess I did say that I felt better. I have felt noticeably less terrible since that third treatment. Also, sorry if this is TMI, but I think it's relevant. I started my period this week, and I haven't had any PMDD symptoms. Okay, yeah, so it was week 2 that I didn't have any PMDD symptoms, so that is a pretty major improvement, actually. And at that point, I would have had, well, it's hard to say. I would have had either 2 treatments or 4. I still feel slightly less terrible every second of the day, like I have for years. So right away, I'm noticing that I'm speaking a little faster. Well, what I've noticed over the last week and a half is that after my second dose of Adderall has worn off, I can still kind of do things. Okay, so this is actually surprising to me. Apparently, the cognitive improvements happened within the first 3 weeks. Impressive. Sarcophagi, pyramids, sand, etc. And Timothy Chalamet for some reason. Okay. So this was the start of Timothy Chalamet appearing in my Spravato trips. It's been a long time since he appeared. So weird. And I likely would have started Spravato a lot sooner. Oh, hi, Finn. Hi, hello, and welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather. This is Miss Finn. Okay, so it seems like I'm already a little more lifelike. It was just very clear to me that I do feel noticeably better. I really do. After about 40. So yeah, I was feeling noticeably better after the first month, which that's what my provider said was somewhat typical. Week 2, when my depression score went from 14 to 11, but it has stayed at 11 this whole rest of the month. But when I did the assessment before my last treatment, it was 5. Oh, wow, okay. So week 5, there was a pretty significant decrease in my depression symptoms. I'm so glad that I made these videos because I didn't remember how fast this all happened. Why does Timothée Chalamet keep appearing in my experiences? Great question. Oh my God, will you look at that face?
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Breathing heavy.
I love her so much.
Okay, calm down, Dee.
This treatment was on a Saturday, so afterwards I went back to my boyfriend's place instead of mine to spend the weekend with him and to go to a little get-together we were invited to. That's right. This was also a big milestone for me because my social anxiety wasn't preventing me from going out and doing something, and I actually kind of wanted to go. It's the strangest thing. It just doesn't feel like a big deal anymore. And I even detected a hint of looking forward to it. Yeah, big deal. Don't mind me. I'm just over here getting my life back. Going into treatment, I was really hopeful that I was going to have some kind of meaningful improvement from it, but I never expected it to be this good or this quickly. I can hardly believe I can say this, but this is changing my life. Oh my God, why is that going to make me cry? It absolutely did. I feel alive again. This treatment is life-changing and life-giving. Right, week 6. So, week 6, I didn't have much to share because it was all very pertinent to my dissociative disorder, which I wasn't open about at that time. And in the future, I may end up talking about it. In fact, I hope I do, because ultimately, I want to help other people. And I don't want to continue to allow fear and the misinformed opinions of a handful of people prevent me from doing something that I feel is right and that I care about. Good job, girl. Yeah, I've since made videos talking about my dissociative disorder, which you can go check those out. And how about a good chin scratch? Oh, right. I got a haircut for the first time in quite a while. It was another one of those milestones or signs that Spravato was working. I've started to be able to think about and connect with and believe that I have a future, which I have not felt that in years. That's right. I totally forgot about that too. I don't know if that was a depression thing or PTSD thing, but yeah, started feeling like I had a future, which was really important, or at least for me, really important in being able to set goals and have the motivation to achieve them. Because prior to that, it was just sort of like, why? Why bother? I'm really glad I documented this stuff. If any of you guys are starting Spravato or even currently doing it, start making videos, even if you don't share them, because this is really interesting to go back and watch.
Better give me that.
She was so chonky. Turns out it wasn't because I'm lazy or broken or undisciplined.
Turns out depression.
Or maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's clinical depression.
A lot of things that I beat myself up about, like telling myself that I'm lazy or undisciplined or unmotivated, or I had a lot of things that I called myself, but turns out it was just depression. I think this is a good snapshot that by like week 8, I was already a completely different person. Actually, that's what I have on the thumbnail. It's Heather 2.0. It's been nice to go back and look at these, because I did forget just how fast it happened, and even some of the things or some of the changes that I experienced. Man, I really hate thinking about where I would be right now if I hadn't done Spravato. But yeah, I think I've taken up enough of your guys' time today. Let me know in the comments if you have any other questions for me. If you liked this video, please consider liking it. It helps me out a lot. And I will be seeing you guys again soon. Okay, bye.